Yeah, I'm striving for greatness, trying to make it out. We're stuck in the matrix. Yeah, I'm striving for greatness, trying to make it out. We're stuck in the matrix. Yeah, I'm striving for greatness, trying to make it out. We're stuck in the matrix. Yeah, I'm striving for greatness, trying to make it out. Yeah, I'm striving for greatness, trying to make it out. We're stuck in the matrix. Yeah, I'm striving for greatness, trying to make it out. We're stuck in the matrix. Yeah, I'm striving for greatness, trying to make it out. We're stuck in the matrix. Yeah, I'm striving for greatness, trying to make it out. Trying to make it out. We're stuck in the matrix. Yeah, I'm striving for greatness, trying to make it out. We're stuck in the matrix. Yeah, I'm striving for greatness, trying to make it out. We're stuck in the matrix. Yeah, I'm striving for greatness, trying to make it out. We're stuck in the matrix. Man, my auntie passed last night. This is a sad life. I'm trying to get my cash.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy B-Dell. I am back with a cosmic transmission. If you're new to this channel, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. But today's segment is predicated upon the great purification from the allegories of Hopi mythology with the annihilation of the fourth world that's orchestrated by the blue star Kachina that comes from the 19th galaxy planet Risk, the home of the Anunnaki, which is the inception point of the Great Reset and the Great Awakening, right? So this video is primarily for those who are into eschatology, which is the science of the end times. Because if we have about 2 years left to get everything in order, because everything is starting to speed up in vibration, because 2 years is synonymous to 2025. 2025 is a metaphysical number because it equates to 9, and 9 is a representation of completion, because you're going from an old paradigm into a different paradigm. So this is also equated to the Hopi prophecy when you're looking at the blue star Kachina. Because like I said, 9 is also the symbology of completion. So the blue star Kachina is the 9th and final sign before the day of purification, which manifests mass calamity on the surface of the planet. So this basically indicates a supernatural metaphysical event on the planet where everything is going to dematerialize. So you're going from a 3-dimensional energy into a 5th-dimensional energy, right? And we're going to get into that. Hold on. Now, the Hopi blue star prophecy, now, it says verbatim that many will appear to have their souls lost. That's because the great majority of people on this planet haven't done their shadow work. Because as the material world starts to fade away and they have an emotional connection to it, it's going to put people in a state of depression. And you're going to have a lot of people who are going to be, kill themselves off due to the 3-dimensional construct being destroyed by this energy of the blue star Kachina. So like I said, in these last and final days, you got a lot of people who are mentally fractured and spiritually broken because they haven't done their shadow work. And these new energies that's hitting the planet is going to cause a manipulation in their neurological faculties. Now, the blue star Kachina is a spirit that will signify the coming of the beginning of the new world by appearing in the form of a blue star. Now, the blue star Kachina is said to be the 9th and final sign before the day of purification, which is catastrophe or a world engulfing cataclysm that will lead to purification for the planet. So this is going through a spiritual cleanse that's taking place right now, right? So now when you understand the metaphysical essence of the blue star Kachina, when you look at the highest frequency, the color spectrum of blue, it's the highest frequency because it's electrical and it's magnetic. The suns that we have in our solar system right now, sometimes you see a red sun and you see a orange sun, or you see a yellow sun. Now those are just basically suns that are basically highly magnetic. Now when you're talking about the blue star Kachina, it's basically it deals on both principles. It's electrical and it's magnetic, because it's conducive to the brain, which is the electromagnetic generator, and then you got the heart, which is the operator. So like I said, they both work in synergy, which puts you in balance because the blue sun is going to put everything back in balance. So it's synonymous to your genetical structure. So now the blue star Kachina is basically a quark star because it contains quark energy, meaning that it has an extensive amount of hydrons, right? Which are many different forms of atoms and particles that can basically manipulate the fragment of time. Now, a quark star is a hypothetical type of compact exotic star, extremely high temperature and pressure force of nuclear particles in the form of quark matter. So this is why I said this is nature's version of the CERN machine. So the blue star Kachina has the ability to take you to the fifth dimension. That's what it's used for. It's a transitional process by taking you out of the third dimensional reality and transmuting into a fifth dimensional reality, right? Because the CERN machine has the ability to open up portals, but the blue star Kachina does it on a organic level, right? Because it's being activated by nature and it's coming from a different star system, right? So it is well known that the theoretical and observationally that the massive stars collapse in the form of neutron stars at the end of their life cycle. Because like I said, 9 is a representation of completion. It's the 9th and final sign. 2025, when you add up all the numbers, it equates to the number 9, which is equated to vortex mathematics that governs the quantum realm through the physical world, right? So now this quark energy is a type of elementary particle and a fundamental constitute of matter and quarks that combine in the form of composite particles called hadrons. Like I said, the CERN machine basically does the same thing, but the blue star Kachina has a quark energy which is 1,000,000 times powerful than the CERN machine. The CERN machine is basically a minuscule version of the blue star Kachina, because like I said, this blue star Kachina has the ability to open up portals that connects us to the space-time continuum. Hold on. Now, this is also equated to the Hopi prophecy. The Hopi prophecy is also talking about the Anunnaki, because this also is equated to, like I said, theological context, all ancient texts and things of that nature. Because the Hopi prophecy, they talking about Anu, which is the ant people. Ant people, ant and Naki means friend. So Anunnaki means ant friends through Hopi mythology. So like I said, when I said this blue star is coming from the 19th galaxy, that's the home of their solar system, right? Because they come from the 8th planet. So all these things is, you know, when you're talking about extraterrestrials and you're talking about galactical beings and you're talking about the Elohim and Neteru, they're basically the same story, but they just have different mythology. That's all it is. So it says right here that the ant friends, the Anunnaki, twice took them underground. The second being the last ice age actually melted, creating a global flood that has created, that was basically recorded all throughout ancient history worldwide. So like I said, right before you have this great calamity, this is why the great majority of the plutocracy and the oligarchs, they're trying to go underground but to escape judgment. Or we already talked about this when you're talking about the military industrial complex and the military bases, right? All right. So like I said, 9 is a highly metaphysical number. It's it's basically conducive to vortex mathematics. So it's a quantum number that governs the physical world, right? So the energy of the number 9 represents completion, but not finality, right? So, like I said, it represents transformation. It represents wisdom and spiritual source. So, like I said, 9 is a representation of completion, right? Because, like I said, 2025, when you add up all the numbers, you get the number 9. And the reason I say that is because, you know, this is why the World Economic Forum They coming out with many different putting out certain information in the public domain because they got to tell you what's going to happen. It's universal law. So I want you to watch this video. This guy verbatim tells you that in 2 years there's going to be a catastrophic event that's going to take place. But from my independent research, it's all going to be orchestrated by the blue star Kachina. Now listen to what he got to say.
This is a result of research in collaboration with the forum's communities and our partner Accenture, which we've interviewed and sought input from over 300 executives globally. The most striking finding that we found is that 93% of cyber leaders and 86% of cyber business leaders believe that the geopolitical instability makes a catastrophic cyber event likely in the next 2 years.
He said in the next 2 years. Why do you say it in the next 2 years? Because that's also the same time you're going to have great pestilence on the planet, right? You're going to have pestilence on this planet. And the reason I say that is because that's why they're trying to introduce everything through these transitional processes and these trials that's conducive to the World Economic Forum. So when we already talked about the seers, when you're talking about severe intravirus epidemic respiratory syndrome. So they're going to introduce that to the public because these nanomaterials and these nanotechnologies that basically germinate your molecular structure, when you have that event that's going to take place, that is where you're going to have your so-called great purification when the blue star shuts down everything in the three-dimensional paradigm because we're going through a dimensional shift, right? So now I'm going to show you this video because, like I said, the blue star Kachina, it shows up in our atmosphere in increments on certain geographical locations. But this Hopi prophecy, when you see this blue star Kachina, everybody on the planet is going to see this phenomenon taking place in our atmosphere. It's not just going to be so fixated on one side of the planet. Everybody's going to see it. And during that time, that's when you're going to have the Messianic figure is going to show up on the planet. So just like I was saying not too long ago, only a woman can restore the matriarch. Only a woman can revitalize this patriarchal energy that subjugated humanity, which puts us in a lunar light lock energy in a form of cryostasis. So only a woman can revitalize the system because, like I said, the Black Messiah is not a man, it's a woman. Only a woman can bring back the matriarchy to combat the patriarchal energy that was conducive to the Piscean age. So I want you to watch this video for a second.
An alien invasion in New York City. We can report that. The mysterious blue illumination scared.
Like I said, you notice they said out of the blue star Kachina, because so it's not an alien invasion, and it's not a spaceship, it's not a UFO. Like I said, the blue star shows up in our atmosphere in increments during certain time periods. But like I said, it's going to be a time where it's going to be visible to everybody on the planet, not just on a certain geographical area or for a certain demographic to see.
Many people while lighting up social media.
It's not supposed to look like that in the night sky.
The New York City skyline was mysteriously illuminated last night.
It's flashing.
It's the sky.
It looks like the end of the world or something.
With a glowing shade of blue.
No idea what's going on in my scene right now.
Turning others to social media for answers.
It's like the alien attack.
It looked like a UFO coming from the sky. It was scary.
You can see that goes bust.
Like I said, if you think 2023 is weird, wait till we get into 2024. Wait until we get into 2025. 2025 is going to knock your socks off. Because everything that's taking place right now is all prophetic. It's all prophetic. So with that being said, these new energies that's coming in, when you understand, I put out a video not too long ago when you had the Arizona Wilder, she was talking about the reptilians. Reptilians, you can only see, since we can only see 10% of the electromagnetic spectrum, you cannot see certain things that's taking place when you're talking about draconian reptilians, right? And the reason I say that is because she said these fourth dimensional and fifth dimensional energies that's coming in, they're not going to be able to hide their form. So this is a video of Joe Biden. His eye is basically shape-shifting. His eye is shape-shifting on national television. So I'm going to show you the video because, like I said, these new energies that's coming in, they're not going to be able to hide their form. So eventually they're going to have to show themselves as we transition going into the fourth dimension and the fifth dimension. So they're going to be in their original form because they essentially want to take over this whole paradigm. Look closely, look at his eyeballs. On national television. So this is not a coincidence. It's not CGI. It's none of that. You see what I'm saying? Because these new energies, you know what I'm saying? Everything that's taking place on the planet is prophetic. Everything's hidden in plain sight, but it's up to you to have that that spiritual eye to see beyond the BS. So I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I'm not going to be too long because I got an interview with Brother Rich tonight. So also, let me get this going. We're going to be talking about Superman because all this is conducive to everything that's taking place right now. Now, how did Superman draw his energy? He drew his metaphysical abilities from solar transmission and solar radiation, right? Because when you look at the color spectrum of Superman's garments, it's equated to the red sun, the blue sun, and the yellow sun, right? So now, like I said, when you look at Superman's chest, the logo, it's a pyramid with a serpent in the middle of it. Because these suns that's coming into our atmosphere, it transmutes you into a form of a god. Because, like I said, God is basically the mind. Because you have the ability to manipulate atoms and elements and matter and things of that nature just based upon the frequency of your energy, because you're able to take up on the solar transmission, which is vitamin. When you break down the etymology, it means vitality, Amun Ra, to where you take in those solar transmission to revitalize and activate the God particle, which is the neuroendocrine transducer, right? So the brain is the electrical generator. The heart is the operator, which is magnetism. Then you got the destroyer that sits at the base of the spine, which is equated to divine destruction, right? So when you activate the God within you, that's how you activate the Kundalini energy, which is equated to the serpent on the chest of Superman. So when you have the endocrine system in alignment, you activate all 7 energy cortexes, right? So Superman's powers basically rely on his cell's ability to absorb and metabolize solar energy from the local stars like Earth, right? So the consumption of all the solar transmission and the radiation is what puts him in alignment to reap the benefits of taking on the ripple effect of those cosmic energies to where he can have those metaphysical abilities. When you're talking about flying, telepathy, clairvoyance, intuition, and things of that nature, right? So Superman drew his energy from the sun. That's how you know he's supposed to be melanated, right? But everything, that's how you know who controls the concept of, the perception of, how can I say it? How they deify a certain demographic of people. Now, the blue sun, when you're talking about Superman, the blue sun gives Superman the ability to bestow abilities on other humans, right? So like I say, he drew his energy from the sun. A blue sun gives Superman the ability to bestow abilities on other humans. I don't know why it says that twice. But he, because like I said, the blue sun is the highest frequency. So that's why Jack Kirby, when you're talking about Jack Kirby, when you talk Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, they're both occultists. they used to see this guy named Credo Mutwa. Credo Mutwa is a Zulu shaman. He is the highest priest on the land. He was the highest priest on the land before he died. He has a lot more rank in the spiritual world than the Pope. And the Pope really doesn't have any spiritual rank because he basically stole the matriarch through a patriarchal energy under the Piscean age. But that's a whole different story. But like I said, Credo Mutwa was the highest priest on the land. So Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, they used to go see Credo Mutwa in order to galvanize their resources to create these the mythology in their comics. Because like I said, he understood everything. Credo Mutwa, he understood everything intuitively when you're talking about many different galactical beings that come to the star system from different star systems and coming to this planet. He talks about the Dogons, the Nomos, the mermaid people in the ocean. He talks about the Chitahari, which is the Draconian reptilians. He talks about the Greys. He talks about many different forms of extraterrestrial species, which is also synonymous to the mythology of the comic books and things of that nature. So they got a lot of their materials and everything from this guy right here. He was the highest priest on the land. So I think I got something else for you. So with all that being said, for the new people coming in, I want to show y'all this video because like I said, 2025 is a very intrinsical year because it's a representation as we're going into a fifth dimensional shift. So this is where you're going to have your great separation. So it's very imperative to get everything in order because there's a lot of things that's going to be taking place. Because when you have these new energies coming in, and you basically succumbed yourself to the subjugation of the fallacies of the three-dimensional paradigm and Eurocentric culture, when you get these nanotechnologies in you, what happens is, like I said, it's going to shut down your molecular structure because it puts the body in a state of cryogenics. So the great majority of these nanomaterials and nanotechnologies, they have what you call toxoplasma, right? And the toxoplasma in itself, when you have these 5G frequencies, and these 5G frequencies contain EMF waves, and when it swells up, because the planet is speeding up in vibration, when these nanomaterials swell up from the 5G frequency and radiation, they basically start to dematerialize in your molecular structure, and they transmute over into a fungus, and the fungus becomes a parasitical entity that takes over your biological vessel, and it manipulates the two frontal lobes of the brain, which is the P136 deletion syndrome, right? So like I said, when you take on these new technologies, when you have this blue star Kachina that enters our solar system around 2025, that's where you're going to have great calamity. What this guy's talking about, you're going to have a cyber attack, but it's not going to really be a cyber attack. It's really going to be the shutdown of a paradigm, because the energy of the blue star Kachina has the ability to shut down the electrical grid, and everything that's connected to the electrical grid. When you're talking about these nanotechnologies, when you have these inside your molecular structure, you're going to fall when the system falls, or it can put you in a state of zombification. So I'm going to play this video for a second.
This is a result of research in collaboration with the forums communities and our partner Accenture, which we've interviewed and sought input from over 300 executives globally. The most striking finding that we found is that 93% of cyber leaders and 86% of cyber business leaders believe that the geopolitical instability makes a catastrophic cyber event likely in the next 2 years.
In the next 2 years. So like I said, it's time to get everything together. It's time to get your resources together, get with like-minded people. Like I said, it's very imperative because we about to enter some dark times. You know what I'm saying? You got the crumbling of the economical system, due to the fiat currency system trying to transition into a digital currency system. Because like I told you, the third eye for the beast is artificial intelligence. So it's very imperative. You say you got to get with like-minded people, get your resources, get ammunition and things of that nature. Because like I said, it's going to come a time where you're going to have to galvanize all your resources and connect with many different people. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not going to have these smart devices eventually. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to call somebody and be like, hey, meet me at this location right here. So get this video out there. Thanks for watching. And also, like I said, you know, we can also, you know, start a group, you know what I'm saying, to where depending on what location of the planet where you're at, you know what I'm saying, you can, you know, every once in a while, probably like before things start to take off every 3 months, we can create and amalgamate with many different demographics of people to where we can put our resources together and meet up at a certain location point. So where I'm at in southern Indiana, the closest place I'm at is by Mammoth Cave, Kentucky, because Mammoth Cave, Kentucky is the deepest cave system in the United States that leads you to hollow earth and things of that nature. So like I said, if you live in many different locations to where you can go into these caverns of the planet to where you can escape calamity, you know what I'm saying? Let's get our resources together and, you know, hit each other up to where, you know, when something does happen, you know what I'm saying, we all know what to do. So get this video out there. It's very imperative that we get this transmission out. End of transmission. Thanks for watching.